this is Miranda from Crisis of Infinite Opinions, and welcome back to The Syllabus. Now, if you are unfamiliar with the concept of the show, we are four comic talkers, and every single month we debate comic book topics. Except secretly, one or more of us is lying. And to help you figure out just which of us is the bizarro hiding amongst us, every single month we each choose one book which best represents our arguments to kind of give you like a sporting chance, really. And this month, it's no kill rules, aka murder bad, ? So I, of course, as your friendly neighborhood amateur Batman historian, had to choose a Batman book. No kill rules are a subject near and dear to my heart, as they are near and dear to Batman's heart. So I chose Detective Comics' Fall of the Batman by James Tynion IV. In Fall of the Batman, the Gotham Knights, a team composed primarily of auxiliary members of the Bat family, are forced into a situation where they must confront their own personal moralities, how those moralities might come into conflict, and what that means against the overall ethic of being in the Bat family when Batwoman kills one of their own. It ends with a conversation between what we can think of as the core Bat family, including Batman, about whether or not they have the right to judge that decision. It is a remarkably nuanced take on Batman's no-kill rule that gives space for all of its characters to have a variety of opinions based upon their own personal experiences and philosophies. Brenna's recommendation lies in a similar vein in terms of debating the ethics of a group of superheroes, with a Sinestro Corps war. The central question at the heart of the story is about how much power should quasi-law enforcement superheroes have. Sinestro rebels against the limitations placed on him by the Green Lantern Corps, the very basic limitation of don't be a fascist. And this leads him to create his own Lantern group, who then come into conflict with the Green Lanterns, and this leads to an intergalactic war. In response to this war, the Corps changes its rules. They start to allow Green Lanterns to kill with impunity. And this was the very limitation Sinestro was rebelling against. This event asks if Green Lanterns, and by extension other superheroes, should be allowed to kill. And then it goes on to actually discuss and struggle with the idea, rather than simply give a flat-out answer. A book interested in having a similar conversation, but with far less nuance, is Honey's Pick, Green Arrow, 19 and 20, from 1989. While many of our recommendations for the series are stories we genuinely love and want other people to read, sometimes we have to recommend actual homework for the reader. Green Arrow 19 and 20 is the sorry tale of a teenager shot down and killed by Green Arrow for the great crime of running around at night with a paintball gun. In the hands of a sane writer, this might have been a story about the dangers of lethal force. But unfortunately, Mike Grell, and through him the rest of the characters, consider this tragedy as a mere casualty of war. Ollie's justifiable guilt is assuaged by the comfort of a worldview where, for the sake of justice, not law, we must implement harsh, lethal force. After all, if we give even an inch to these juvenile delinquents, they will turn into hardened criminals the very next day. Sometimes a no-kill rule exists, not because of some great personal moral conviction of the character, but so that these characters won't be turned into soapboxes for an individual writer's warped ideology. And finally, on the opposite end of the no-kill spectrum, is Knight's Pick, the fourth season of the CW's Supergirl. The fourth season of Supergirl is its best and its worst. The show never shied away from taking shots at the first Trump administration, and it started strong with the season's villain, Agent Liberty, aka Ben Lockwood, and his Children of Liberty. Ben Lockwood puts an amiable face on the anti-alien hate group and uses his natural charisma in the news media to rail against alien immigrants. Literal alien immigrants. Whilst all the while committing hate crimes as his alter ego. The early season does a fantastic job of presenting an allegory for the very real danger that many immigrant families face. The Children of Liberty are terrifying. They commit multiple hate crimes against aliens, which mirror real-world violence, including training dogs to sniff out and attack them. This season introduces Manchester Black, played by David Ayola, a human married to an alien woman. When Agent Liberty kills his wife, Manchester vows revenge and starts to hunt down and murder the Children of Liberty, which spoils his alliance with Supergirl. This comes to a head in episode 13, What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way, when Manchester assembles a team to declare war on the hate group, and Supergirl is forced to stop her former ally. Shortly afterward, the show would reveal that the Children of Liberty were being funded by Lex Luthor, who had ties with a secret, vaguely Russian government organization. This pivots the story away from rising xenophobia in America, a timely subject, to a veiled metaphor for Trump's connections with a foreign adversary, which in itself becomes an apt metaphor for how the media fails to challenge real problems in favor of more sensational stories. Ben Lockwood would eventually be taken down in the first Forgettables episode of the 5th season, but only after Supergirl's very carefully centrist, we don't stoop to their level ideology has carried the day. And there you have it. 4 recommendations as to why or why not superheroes should kill people in the face. Tune in next week for the full episode of Crisis of Infinite Opinions to see our discussion on the topic and to see if you can spot the bizarro, aka the lying liar who lies. Like the video if you had a good time. Subscribe to the channel if you like comic book topics. Leave a comment down below if you liked our recommendations, if you have your own recommendation, if you have a very specific thought on no-kill rules, we would love to read it. I've been Dynamiting Miranda. The dogs, which may or may not have made it into the final cut, are Haku and Julie. This has been The Syllabus, and as always, please support your local comic shops. We're all struggling. I am recording this the day before the TikTok ban goes through, so, you know, we're all having a time. Bye.